So sad to report that in just the span of the last 24 hours, first got a report that one of my best friends from growing up, and still is, suffered a heart attack a couple days ago. Luckily, was able to get treatment in time. However, my cousin's husband was not so fortunate and sadly succumbed to a heart attack over the last day. And then I got word that a very good friend of a very good friend passed of a brain tumor, and she had formerly beaten colon cancer 5 years ago. So a couple topics for this, in being one, clearly the old life is short, and then related to that is you don't want to shorten it anymore, but with alcohol abuse. You know, in those heart attacks, I have no idea if alcohol played any role. I do know that my good friend had actually quit drinking a couple years ago, but I do know, and Google, of course, confirms that especially heavy drinking can lead to heart attacks by damaging the heart muscle, raising blood pressure, causing irregular heartbeats, and increasing risk for heart failure or stroke. They say heavy drinking can double the risk of heart attack and stroke within 24 hours, and the risk remains elevated for up to a week. I had no idea about that, and certainly as we age, I'm sure that risk becomes even greater. And again, no idea related to these recent ones, but it did make me think to Google that, because we talk a lot about, you know, the negative impacts of alcohol, particularly the health impacts. Causes 7 different types of cancer, certainly liver issues, liver disease, and overall just weakens your immunity and leaves you open to almost any, potential health risks. So it's just such a reminder that besides that life is short, just sadly, eventually, we're probably all going to get some kind of malady, hopefully not life-threatening, and we're going to wish we hadn't done things that might have contributed to that. And even if they didn't, in my case, I quit drinking for 3.5 years. I've talked about this 11 years ago after I got diverticulitis, and it had progressed. So it was a very severe case of it, digestive issue, basically your pockets in your colon blow up. But I said to myself, I never want to inflict I was in so much pain. I said, I never want to inflict self-induced pain on myself ever again. And that's what really got me going on sobriety before I foolishly tried to drink normally again 3.5 years later, etc. I talk about that whole story and several things, including my first YouTube video. And you know what? Fun fact, even prior to that, in 2009, I had testicular cancer. But unfortunately, it wasn't severe enough to scare me straight. And once I recovered, I pretty much continued my drinking habits. It only got worse, and partially because this is a progressive disorder. They weren't nearly as bad as they became in the years following. So one other note, they say even moderate drinking, especially for women, can raise immediate and long-term risks for cardiovascular events. So I think I'll leave it right there. There's so many reasons to cut down, if not quit altogether, on what essentially is poison. And one more related note, I remember saying in the 3.5 years I quit long ago that I didn't have so much as a sniffle pretty much during that entire time. And now I'm at over 21 months. Thank you very much. And so I'll be coming up on 2 years before you know it, and pretty much the same thing. In fact, I was just telling someone who was coming down with a cold that I hope she doesn't get the dreaded cough, and how I have not had the dreaded cough in a long time, nor have I really had any colds. And I'll also give credit to my cold shower finishes, dances for that. Cold showers trigger your fight or flight system, which triggers your immune system. So I'm always keeping it sharp. And I've got many videos on that. Check them out. Life-changing, and my number one sobriety tip. It's embracing the discomfort every single day. So that'll do it. As always, stronger, sober, and please like, share, subscribe. Thanks.